Oireachtas, obviously everybody is breathing some sigh of relief of the very temporary respite that will now be given to the people of Gaza after the massacre that has been inflicted on them by Israel over the last number of weeks. But I want to stress that that makes the government adopting the proposals in this motion even more urgent and important, because Israel has made absolutely clear that it intends to resume the slaughter of people in Gaza as soon as this truce expires, in 4 days or so. And our motion contains a whole number of calls. But what I really want to refer you very strongly to in the motion is the question of genocide and the obligations that the Irish government have under the Genocide Convention to do everything in its power, as with all the 153 signatories to that convention. They are required to do absolutely everything that they can, all reasonable means available to them, to prevent the commission of genocide and to act against anybody complicit with genocide or guilty of inciting genocide. And that is what we are looking at when we look at the slaughter and massacre that Israel has pursued against the people of Gaza over the last 5 weeks. And it's not just us that are saying that, but it is academics, experts, people knowledgeable in international law and human rights who have said that what Israel has done in Gaza over the last 4 or 5 weeks fits all of the definitions of genocide as set out in the Genocide Convention. Because what genocide means is, and I'm quoting, any of the following acts committed with intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnical, racial or religious group. Involving such as killing members of the group, causing seriously bodily or mental harm to members of the group, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part. So we have had, for example, William Shabas, the world-renowned expert in UCG in the area of genocide, saying that Israel's actions fit the definition of genocide. We've had Raz Siegel, Israeli historian, and again one of the most world-renowned experts in the area of genocide and Holocaust. We have had Craig Mockaber, from the United Nations High Commissioner of Human Rights, resigned on the 28th of October precisely on the grounds that the United Nations had failed to fulfill its obligation under the Genocide Convention to act against what he believes were genocidal actions and genocidal intent by Israel in their slaughter and massacre of Palestinians in Gaza. So it was clear yesterday that the Taoiseach didn't even understand the difference between the question of referring to the ICC, the International Criminal Court, or not referring, and the Genocide Convention. This is not a matter of whether you feel like, or it's government policy, to refer or not to refer to the International Criminal Court. This is an obligation that all contracting parties to the Genocide Convention have, to prevent and to use all reasonable means to prevent a genocide. And it's not just that Israel has killed 14,000 people, slaughtered them, including 6,000 children, displaced 1.7 million people, ethnically cleansed them, in effect, under a reign of terror, destroyed 275,000 Palestinian homes, and cut off water, electricity, food and health supplies to a population of 2.2 million, an entire population. But it is stated very publicly and clearly, and all of the experts in the area of genocide have said this is hard evidence, if you like, of the genocidal intent. They have made clear, government officials, military commanders, and prominent people in the Israeli regime have made clear of their genocidal intent by warning that they were going to cut off food and electricity, by referring to Palestinians as animals, by talking about inflicting a new Nakba, a new catastrophe on the Palestinians, and by talking of things like erasing the Gaza Strip from the face of the earth, and I could go on, right? There is an urgency for the government to act to prevent that horror, that slaughter and that intention to commit genocide before this truce expires. Otherwise, we will have, in fact I would say we have, blood on our hands for our shameful failure to stop this slaughter to date. But I am appealing to you now to take the action that is in your power and that you were required under the Convention to impose sanctions on Israel, on all of its ministers, its ambassadors, its representatives, and take all other sanctions necessary in order to prevent Israel committing and resuming the genocidal assault on Gaza that has caused such horrific, savage, barbaric death and destruction over the last 5 weeks.